Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. You are now listening to Hard Talk with Jason Hardin, the podcast that brings you the cold, hard truth about finding success in today's society. Allow me to introduce your host, publisher, producer, entrepreneur, and community activist, Jason Hardin.
Thank you, and welcome to another episode of Hard Talks with Jason Hardin. That is me, Jason Hardin, and we have an awesome show for you today. But before I get started, I do want to thank everybody, and I do want to apologize. I know it's been a few weeks since I dropped an episode, and I really want to apologize to my listeners because I know I say you have to be consistent, and I'm still working on it. It's just that I got so much wonderful things going on and so many great opportunities opening up. It's just even hard for me to stay consistent on this new podcast thing, but I am trying, everybody, so please believe that I am trying. Anyway, that being said, I'm glad you guys are back here today. I'm glad that you guys are tuned in to listen, and I got some great, valuable information for you. And I just want to let you know, we did have another screening the other day, and thank you to Patricia Cunliffe, writer for the Pasadena Weekly, and I wanted to thank her because she did show up with, I believe, her entire family to our last screening, and this was after a wonderful write-up that she did on our film Pasadena, Exploring Solutions to Reduce Gang Violence. And I couldn't have wrote it better myself. The write-up on us, if you haven't seen it, it's just Google Pasadena Weekly Making a Difference. All right, so if you Google Pasadena Weekly Making a Difference, you will see us. You will see the film. You will see my good buddy and director of the film, Stephen Sneed, and you will see a great article. And it took the words right out of my head. I couldn't, not out of my mouth, because I wouldn't have thought to say anything like that. But all the good stuff she said and all her good feedback on the film, as well as the city itself, was very accurate. And I respect her writing, and I respect the article, and I respect the fact that she came and saw it again with some more individuals, and that is definitely going to create an even bigger impact on gang violence and community violence as a whole in Pasadena. So I appreciate everybody that came and supported the film. It was on a Monday, so I know it's not your movie-going night, but for those that did come out and enjoyed the film and learned something from it and took something away from it to actually use and implement as their own way of giving back or being a part of the solution, I thank you very much. And thank you to Pasadena Central Library for hosting this film, at least being a wonderful venue. And it was a historical building. It still is a historical building. And it is a gorgeous building. If you haven't had the chance to go down to Pasadena Central Library, please go down there. They have wonderful programs. They have wonderful events down there. Everything is free. Even the actual rental of the theater itself, man, it was wonderful that we got it for the lowest fee that we could have gotten it for, because it's not about making money. We don't charge any admission for our screenings, because it's all about community. We actually bring these folks out just so they can get together, because if we don't have a dialogue on what we watch and what we learn and what we think, then where are we really going to go? So dialogue is important, which brings me back to this podcast, which brings me back to why I'm talking to you guys today. And the topic today is perfection versus production. You guys see that? Perfection versus production. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, everybody knows what perfection means, just something that's just like a work of art, something that you can't even make any better. You know what I'm saying? That it isn't second place by no means. There isn't even a close second. Perfection, it stands alone. And what's wrong with perfection? You know what I'm saying? I know everybody's like, where are we going with this? What's wrong with perfection? What's wrong with something being totally great and absolutely awesome. And the truth is, nothing's wrong with it. But I'm gonna tell you one thing about perfection, and this I want you to write down. I want you to memorize it. I want you to take a picture of it if you could. Perfection is a distraction. You guys hear me? I'm gonna say it one more time. Perfection is a distraction, and that's really if you let it. Because one thing you can do trying to chase perfection is waste a lot of time and a lot of money. So think about it. You know, a lot of us have ideas. A lot of us have great things to say, great talents, and we create things. You know, some people create songs. Some people create poetry. Some people create books. Some people create shows. Some people create podcasts. Some people create programs. And some people want those creations to be perfect before they release it, before they give anybody a chance to even see it sometimes. They want it to be perfect. They want that painting to be a masterpiece out the gate. They want that book to be just a bestseller out the gate. They want that first meal they cook to be gourmet out the gate. And sometimes chasing that perfection and not releasing something until it's perfect, or not finishing something until it's perfect, can be very, very hazardous to your progress, your career, and anything you got going on that requires that level of production. So chasing perfection can be a great distraction. It can be an absolute killer of dreams. To be honest, have you ever heard the saying paralysis by analysis? That's exactly what that is. When you think about something so much, when you're worried about something so much, you're so preoccupied with what's wrong with it, you never release it, so nobody ever gets a chance to see or appreciate what's right about it. So check that. You know what I'm saying? Check if that's happening to you. If that's happening to you, please don't allow that to happen to you anymore. You know, because of course, you know. Okay, I'm gonna draw from experience. Early in the game, long time ago, I'm gonna say maybe about 20 years ago, maybe a little early, maybe a little more towards maybe 15, 18 years ago. Anyway, that's beside the point. But the point is, back in the days, we had a studio. We used to do a lot of music, audio production studio. And me and a group of friends of mine, they're still my friends. We still do music. We still do a lot of audio production, but on a much different level. But when we first started out, some of us in the camp, not me, because I'm not lyrical by any means, but some of us in the camp would create masterpieces. I mean, works of musical genius for the youngsters that we were at the time, and with the level of knowledge that we didn't have at the time. For us to create the stuff we did was truly brilliant, and the work we did was absolutely awesome and brilliant. But I say all that to say this. The people who created that, even though, you know, I was part of that, but like the artists themselves didn't think that was worth putting out. You know what I'm saying? Or this is also during a time where a lot of folks still think you had to get signed, you know, and you really couldn't be independent. So we didn't really have all the knowledge of being independent. Of course, internet wasn't what it is now. So, and YouTube definitely, I'm trying to think if YouTube even existed when we dropped that first album. But what I'm saying is that a lot of artists that I worked with back in the days didn't put anything out because they didn't feel it was perfect. It wasn't good enough. Masterpieces, wonderful songs, awesome works of art that never got put out because the people that created them thought it wasn't good enough. It wasn't perfect. And sad to say that most of those individuals, their careers still aren't perfect. And they're far from perfect because they didn't give an audience anything to build on. They didn't show the audience or their market any growth. They didn't give them a freshman album to compare their latest album to, or any albums after that. And some of them artists never put out a product to this day. To this day, never put out an album. All the music, all the songs they did, and they never put out an album. And what that did was kill their dreams. Straight up. They had dreams of being recording artists, making all this money, doing all these videos and tours, and for the most part, none of it happened because of their chase for perfection. And really, I don't see it as a chase for perfection, because when you start chasing perfection, it really means you're fearing failure. You know what I'm saying? You're fearing the fact that somebody might not like it. You know, out of 20 people that might like it, you're fearing the one person that says your shit is trash. And he could be dead serious, and he could be right. But you're fearing him is keeping you from selling that product or that dream or that hope or that service to the other 20 people that think it's good enough. You know? And some of them might think it's outstanding, the best shit they ever heard. But that's what I'm saying. If you let perfection get in the way, then some of your dreams might never come true. Never come true. So that's the perfection side of it. And what are we talking about? Perfection versus productivity. So if that's the cons of perfection, what are the pros to productivity? And the funny thing is, in contrast to perfection, when you're chasing productivity, you're getting shit done. Simple as that. Simple as that. When you're chasing perfection, you're never going to finish. When you're chasing productivity, you're always going to get some shit done. And that has been a double-edged sword for me, because in some projects, man, I chase productivity. I want to get it done. Bam, it looks good enough for me. Let's put it out there. Sometimes I don't even proofread the shit sometimes, and I know that's my fault. That's a bad habit. But, I'll proofread it, but I don't get it proofread. So the same mistakes I see, I keep seeing, because I'm the one that wrote it, and I can't even see the mistake because I'm reading it in my head. That's why you need a proofreader. But anyway, some things, I'm all about productivity. Let's get it done. Let's get it out there. Other things, get a little more personal. I'm about perfection. Like, let me try to write a song I will take all year, all month, all night, whatever it is. I will take the longest amount of time ever to write one song, and I will never finish an album. I swear I said I was going to do an album years ago when we were doing music, and I have yet to do one. And that's because that I chase perfection when it's something so personal. But had I not chased perfection, had I put out every 16-bar verse I ever wrote or ever thought of, I'd probably be sitting next to, man, who's hot right now? Well, who's mediocre right now? I'd probably be sitting next to somebody like, hell, I don't know, Jid. I like Jid. He's dope. All you youngsters who know who Jid is, man, that's one new artist that I think it's kind of relevant to have some talent and some skills. But anyway, like I said, perfection will slow you down, but chasing production will get shit done. So that's why I excel in the things in which I chase production. I excel in getting designs done for t-shirts. I excel in knocking out clients' work. I excel in creating marketing ideas and creating sales ideas and more ways to push our product. I excel in things like that. I excel in trying to figure it out and implementing certain things. But when it comes to getting super creative and super personal, I chase perfection, and those things usually never get done. So speaking from experience, I'm telling you, perfection is a distraction. Production is always progress. Because I'm going to tell you, when you progress, when you actually produce some things and execute and get some things done, you get better at doing it. You start to see that there's a pattern in doing shit right You start to see what works and what doesn't. You start to see what people respond to and what they don't respond to. You start to see or discover cheaper ways or more efficient ways to do things. So it's simple to get better when you're producing stuff. It's hard to get to a level of perfection before you have even executed anything, or when your execution is minimal, but your analysis or your process is very lengthy or prolonged, I should say. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying don't chase perfection, chase productivity, because once again, productivity is all about execution. Now, speaking of getting things done, because execution, that's all that means, getting things done. And to be honest, you can build an entire brand or at least some brand recognition on just being the type of person to get shit done. I know, because I'm one of those people. I mean, I can blurt out any idea on social media, and folks are already going to see me, in their mind, see me introduce that shit to the world or release it in no time. Like, they already think it's in the works. Anything, I could just say an idea right now, and my audience will think it's ready to come out. Like, they're already buying tickets. They're already pre-purchasing the product. It's like, that's the level of execution that accompanies my brand. They know me as getting shit done. Everything I've ever tried, everything I've ever attempted, everything I've ever said, I've finished to some degree. As soon as I said I wanted to be a magazine, as soon as I said I wanted to create a magazine, literally on the red carpet. On not just one, not some rinky-dink red carpets. I'm talking about A-list red carpets. I'm talking about A-list parties. I'm talking about A-list access to a lot of events and a lot of perks that came with it within, a year, within months of launching my first issue. You know what I'm saying? Some of it even before I launched my issue. So I say that to say this. Anything that I say I'm going to do gets done. Absolutely gets done. And that weighs heavy when you're trying to get shit done, because if you're known as an executioner, people are gonna fuck with you. People are gonna connect with you to get things done on their behalf, on your behalf. People are gonna follow you because they know that they can succeed with you because you get shit done. And it allows you a lot of room for opportunity, because you have a lot of people that come to you with great ideas and they want you to be a part of it, and they just don't see it happening alone. And that's okay, because that's where an entrepreneur steps in. That's what entrepreneurs do. Basically, entrepreneurs get paid to be themselves, to just think how they think, operate how they operate, and bring the value that they naturally bring. So being a finisher, being an executioner, being the type of person that gets things done rather than overthink it or overanalyze it or overwork it to death, man, I know some folks, and I'm still using music as a reference, I know some folks that book studio session after studio session after studio session for one song. Literally for one song. I know other folks that book one session and get damn near an album done. But that's the difference. Those are two sides of the same spectrum. You have folks that chase perfection, and you have folks that chase productivity. And I'm going to tell you, if you're chasing perfection, it's just, there must be a little insecurity there, so get over that. Get over that. Get over yourself. It's funny because I'm thinking of a great speaker named Peter Vu, an email I got from him. You know, I was telling him, like, man, I hate getting on the camera, man. Hate getting on the camera. I'm horrible on the camera. Things don't come up. I'm so self-conscious of how I look. I can't stand being on the camera, and it keeps me from doing more videos. It keeps me from doing more vlogs. It keeps me from doing interviews. It keeps me from being, you know, my own subject when I'm trying to create content. Because if you're using yourself, man, you always have access to you. So you're the type to get on the camera and like to talk, man, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a shitload of product and a shitload of content. Don't waste that shit all on social media, man. Put some of them things on wax. Put some of them things together and make packages out of them. But me, I get so self-conscious that I don't get a lot of things done that I would really like to do that'll really further my brand and my business to the next level. And Peter said in an email, he said, what did this man say? I'm trying to get his words right. I'm trying to really quote him. And he said, it's not about you. If you're trying to do something to help others, if you're trying to bring value to others, if you're trying to create content or create a program or create a business on servicing your fellow man, servicing people, now I'm just paraphrasing, he didn't say all this, but servicing other people and being of value to other people, then you have to realize it's not about you. So don't get caught up in you. Basically, get over yourself. And he has a whole podcast dedicated to explaining the concept of getting over yourself. So I'm gonna tell you, if you're chasing perfection, get over yourself. I'm right now getting over myself. I'm filming this. I'm speaking while I'm not even at home. I can't tell you where I'm at because I'm in a private home and I do have stalkers, dangerous ones too. But yeah, I'm getting over myself. I'm no longer prolonging the process that I need due to trying to be perfect. I'm not gonna let my need or my neurotic need to be perfect hinder my ability to give value to people. I'm not gonna let it stop me. I'm not gonna shortchange my audience. I'm not gonna shortchange my loved ones by being afraid to be flawed or being afraid to fail. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to be talked about. I'm not afraid to hear, oh, I don't like you, or you ain't this, or you ain't that, or you don't know anything, you're stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid of those things because those people aren't who I do this for. Those people aren't the ones who are going to take the real value of the things I say, implement it, and become successful in their own way. Because those folks is who I'm doing it for. Anyway, that being said, before I get out of here, I want to give you 3 of my best ways to stay productive. Like I said, hell with perfection. I'm not going to give you any ways to be more perfect. Okay, yeah, I'm going to give you one way to be more perfect, and that's to be more productive. All right, so that's one way to be more productive. Be more perfect, and I'm going to give you right now 3 ways to be more productive. The first way, first tip, first hint, whatever you want to call it, first bullet, man, write this down. Stop caring about what others think. Especially people who don't like you anyway. People who wouldn't support you anyway. People who ain't got nothing to say nice about you anyway, especially them. But basically anybody. Stop caring what people think. And good and bad. Don't let people hype you up and pump you up and blow your head up and all that stuff either, because you want to have control over your content. You want to take people's feedback in regards to what's going to bring value, but don't worry about what they think. Worry about the facts. Are you really bringing value? Are you really stating facts? Are you really being honest? Are you operating with integrity? Are you misleading? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be misleading. Are you operating off facts? Are you operating off proof? You know what I'm saying? So as long as you're operating with integrity and honesty and you're being true to yourself and true to your audience, it doesn't matter what people think of you. Because if what people think dictates what you do, then you no longer have control over you. You understand that? So anyway, that's hint number 1. Stop caring what people think. Number 2, don't depend on what others do. If you want to be more productive, do not let what you do depend on somebody else having to move, having to act, having to get up, having to finance, don't let what you do be contingent upon what somebody else does. If there's something you want to do, man, put your own heart, passion, finances, and sweat into it and get it done. Do it. Because if you need an army behind you every time you move, you won't get it. But if you can move when everybody else is asleep, and when everybody else is not looking or paying attention or sitting down or fucking around, you will get crazy far. You will travel deserts and continents and oceans if you know how to move alone when you need to. And not when you need to, but let that be first. We're all interdependent. We all need folks. We all need to connect. We all need to network, and we all need to work together in many capacities. But we all have to operate very effectively alone and in a healthy way. So if everything you do depends on somebody else being on board, somebody else helping you out, somebody else being on the team, somebody else partnering up with you, somebody else saying yeah, then you're never going to get where you're really trying to go. Unless you ain't trying to go nowhere. See what I'm saying? So that's number 2. Don't depend on what others do. Don't let your idea, your business, your brand, or whatever you're trying to create in life, or whatever you're trying to build in life be contingent upon somebody else being down. And that's true for relationships and happiness and all that. Don't let your happiness be contingent on what somebody else does or doesn't do. If you do not have the ability to be successful and happy alone, then that's its own problem. You know what I'm saying? Then you don't need to bring anybody else down. You have to be a winner alone to win with somebody else. I'm not going to bullshit you. You have to be able to carry at least so many yards of the ball so many times or rack up so many stats alone to be effective as a teammate, and that's real. And if you're not effective as a teammate, man, go back to the gym. Keep practicing. Because I don't want anybody on my team who doesn't know how to be an individual. I don't want anybody on my squad who doesn't know how to master their own position alone. See what I'm saying? We all can't play your position, so you better master that shit alone. And you better get a lot of practice at it when somebody else isn't trying to practice with you. So yeah, that's number 2. Don't depend on what others do. Number 3 of my 3 best ways to stay productive, stay focused on your ultimate goal. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your reason is, or whatever it is you're trying to do, your reason to be successful, your reason to have a lot of money, your reason to be happy, your reasons to achieve your definition of success, stay focused on that. Stay focused on that overall definition of success. Stay focused on what you want your life to look like, be like, and always be creating that now. Because if you're always building towards your ultimate, where you want to be, then everything you do will be productive. You get that? It's as easy as focusing on what you want to do. If you never lose focus on what you're really trying to do, then everything you do, what you watch, what you read, what you eat, what you walk, what you say, will be towards that goal. So the people that are the most successful are people with the most focus. Think about it. Think about school. All the kids that were super focused were the kids that had the super good grades. Were the kids that got those super scholarships to those super colleges and got those super opportunities at super young ages. The ones who weren't focused didn't start getting shit together until they started getting focused around 25, 30, 35, 40. Man, it goes up. Some folks, 70, 75, still not focused. Can't make anything happen without other people helping making it happen. You know what I'm saying? At all times, without other people damn near doing the work. And you don't want to be those type of people. You don't want to be that person. You want to stay focused. You want to be able to operate alone. And you want to be able to not care what people think about you. Do those 3 things, man, and you'll stay focused. Straight up. Execution is everything. Execution is everything. So that'll help you be productive. Anyway, like I said, I wanted to keep it short, wanted to keep it sweet, wanted to give you some value. And wanted to let you know that, like I said, stop chasing perfection. Perfection usually will get you stuck. Usually will keep you stuck, and it won't get you nowhere near as far as productivity will. At the risk of sounding like an idiot sometimes, I do these anyway because I do not want to shortchange my audience. I don't want to shortchange my nephews, nieces, youngsters, my mentees, anybody listening to me because I might not sound perfect. Like I said, I chase productivity for the most part. There's a lot of things where I chase perfection and it just doesn't work out, and I try not to be that way. So in everything I do, I try to chase productivity. So I give you these episodes raw, uncut, all that good stuff, uncensored, only because I don't want to take value from somebody else that might need to hear anything that I might have to say. So that being said, man, that's our show for today. Special thanks to a couple folks, man. Peter Vu and his 6 months to 6 figures. Everybody get it. I'm done with it. I'm about to give it away and hope when they're done with it, they give it to the next person because it's that valuable. There's a couple folks I'm going to buy this book for, but it's an awesome book. I'm not even finished with it. And you know why? Because there's so many tactical steps and suggestions and tips in here that you really want to apply them as you go along. And he preaches that too. And I've always been a firm believer that as soon as I learn something, I apply it. Sometimes I don't even wait till the class is over, man. I'm already on the computer applying what the teacher just said back when I was in school. But like I said, man, so many tactical steps in here that it's hard to finish because I'm always doing what the book says. So I'm on chapter 6. Chapter 6 is where it really gets good. He starts to really give you more homework, I should say. And like I said, it doesn't matter what you do, that book applies to whatever to whatever area you feel you need to be more successful at. Like I said, it's all about winning. Winning is a mentality. It doesn't matter what the sport is, doesn't matter what the contest is, what the industry is. Man, just like business, man, the same rules apply to everything. Like Einstein's unified field theory. Everything is everything. If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense.
If you found anything on today's show helpful, please subscribe and share what you learned. For more access to valuable information, services, and products, visit www.hardwayenterprise.com. Until next time, stay aware, stay inspired, and stay grinding.